And there wasn't any soup in this one either. What the fuck?
Fucking sucked.
What
That
the
was
fuck
fucking
was that?
terrible.
Don't listen to these guys, they're haters.
Did you like it?
I didn't think it was as bad as you guys are making
Oh my
on.
fucking
No,
God.
it's not a good movie, but it felt quicker than 5 hours or however long it was.
You kidding? I nodded off.
I'm kind of...
That's because it's late. You're
I hated this movie.
Yeah, it's late. No, I was bored out of my fucking mind.
I thought this was a disaster, but I'm kind of with Brian in that sense, because the whole movie, I was mesmerized at the fucking train wreck that I was fucking watching.
Mm-hmm.
Different than After Earth, because After Earth was funny. Like, this movie...
This one, it just kind of like, it keeps broadsiding you with the bad.
I could not believe the ineptitude of structure, writing, and character in this fucking film.
It was just a great big giant waste of potential, and that was just slightly heartbreaking. But it's beyond redeemable. That was fucking god awful.
It's like they said, we're gonna give somebody who doesn't know anything about Superman, give you the basic stereotypes of certain characters, and try to make something out of it.
Well, I mean, and you know, I'll give him that the modicum of fucking credit. Superman as a character is a fucking archetype, and he is most interesting as an archetype. But fuck, they could have at least tried.
Yeah, this wasn't even trying. Other Superman movies, I thought the other Superman movies relatively did fine with him as a character. I liked Christopher Reeve. Fuck, I liked George Reeves. I liked Ben Affleck as George Reeves.
Fucking...
You just like those old cartoons where he's like beating up like Asian stereotypes.
I've got that cartoon at home.
The Fleischer Brothers, fuck yeah, those are great.
No, in my opinion, and this has always been my feelings towards Superman, is that he is a almost impossible character to write in an entertaining and interesting way because of how they designed him, because of how he's made. I mean, I've just always been very bored by Superman. There's really only like one Superman story I've ever enjoyed, and it was a little 4-run mini they did called Secret Identity. And it's not even about Superman.
It's actually a Batman comic.
Yeah. And I think Superman could be interesting with a good writer, but really to make Superman fun, you gotta go with the fucking zany. You really gotta go with the zany. And then, you know, you can still just...
punching like super aliens.
Well,
like
even
weird shit.
The strength of Superman as a character is not Superman, it's Clark fucking Kent. And they just kind of bypassed that.
Kinda.
Completely bypassed that.
Well, except for the fact that everyone just knows he's Clark Kent in this
God
movie.
damn it, I hate that!
Oh, who's that in the sky? It's Clark. Can we get this? I gotta get this out of the way.
Let's have every single person call him Clark.
Oh, hey, we got a new guy at the newspaper. His name's Clark Kent. You know what? He should have gone by Superman, because no one called him that in the movie. Who's this Superman guy? We only know of superhero Clark Kent.
You know, Clark Kent, the alien.
Yeah.
By the way, he's an alien.
But the thing is with this movie is so...
Spoiler alert?
No.
Really?
They kept fucking reminding us that he's the alien.
Because-
even he was reminding us, like, it's like, oh, well, you know, I'm not human.
Because
It's like,
every
we
piece...
fucking know that.
Every piece of dialogue in this film is exposition. I mean, you talked about Superman being bland. Everybody is bland in this movie.
This man is not our enemy.
There's not a single three-dimensional character in this movie. Everyone just exists to provide exposition and to move the inevitable destruction of Metropolis forward.
There were a lot of, I know a lot of the characters in the movie don't really do anything, and a lot of them don't even really have lines. But I recognize them from where they're at because they kept fucking showing them all the time like they were very important people.
And the structure of the movie is very weird because really you could have taken about a handful of scenes and swapped them around with each other and the movie still would have made as much goddamn sense. Like, the movie seems to go into it with the idea that, okay, we're doing it as an origin story, but everybody already knows the origin story, so let's do it with the least bit of detail possible. So they kind of do it where... hang on. They do it is where
Shut the fuck up.
where when
Sorry. Yeah.
it immediately cuts from him going off of Krypton to him as an adult, and frequently we get flashbacks when he's a kid, but they don't amount to anything because the movie just assumes everyone knows what the backstory is, everyone knows who Clark is, everybody knows who Superman is, so we don't get an ounce of any kind of development in this film. Anytime it shows Kevin Costner in this movie, which is about 3 times, it's the same speech every time. It's the same exact speech about how, like, oh, you're special, but you don't need to do this now, even if that means I'm gonna get sucked away by this tornado, leaving my wife a fucking widow, just to teach you a goddamn lesson.
Yeah, but he didn't actually get sucked away by the tornado. Everything got sucked away around him, and then the tornado just was around him. that bugged me. That's just the tiniest little bit of thing that bugged me. But no, like, yeah,
That was a tiny thing that bugged you?
I know, right?
That was
like
bull-
nitpicking.
they took Jonathan Kent and just fucking destroyed that character.
But no, it was
Why
weird.
why do they feel the need to kill him every fucking time? Why do they feel the need to kill Jonathan Kent? Why do they have to make
Spider-Man...
fucking... Oh god, fuck that!
That's honestly what I'm going to stand behind because
It's
in
what it
Spider-Man.
is.
Yeah.
And god damn it, Jonathan Kent doesn't fucking die. He
But,
becomes an old man and then he fucking dies. And it's really, really sad and tragic.
But no, the flashback thing was kind of irritating in that, like you said, like, we don't see any actual development with him.
No.
He's here and that's how he is, and then it kind of shows you some tidbits of maybe why, but
It was like
There-
watching a Cliff Notes version of the goddamn story.
yeah,
With
well,
development completely taken out of it.
it was odd to me the way they chose to do it too. I mean, I like the way that the flashbacks did pertain to a thing that was going on to him at that point in time. You know, it wasn't just like and suddenly he's thinking about that time he was in a bus. Like, no, it shows him watching a bus, and then it cuts to a flashback of a bus crashing when he was a kid. But it's kind of confusing in a way. Like, I thought it was like an odd way to structure it, in that those flashbacks are all over the place through his childhood. I mean, in one he's 5, and the next one he's 15, and the next one he's in his 20s, the next one he's 5 again, the next one 20s, 15. I mean, it's back and forth all over the goddamn place.
And it did that stupid thing, which is sort of a cliche that I can't fucking stand, whereas when he saves everyone from that bus, and they're, like, mad at him because they don't understand, like, how he saved them, like, hey, my boy says he's done stuff like this before, and I'm sitting there like what?
save people?
Save your kid's goddamn life because he's a fucking fat ass and is gonna manage an IHOP 20 years from now?
Oh, the IHOP, they keep showing it.
The product placement in this was
Insane!
absolutely aggravating. Like, have like a big punch out in front of a giant IHOP sign. Actually, they had the fight.
It was
an
in the
IHOP.
IHOP.
But no, I'm sorry. They had the big fight in front of a Sears,
Yeah, I saw the Sears.
and then inside the Sears, and 7-Eleven, and everyone in Metropolis uses Nokia. I mean, it was just,
Can we?
it wasn't even fucking subtle. I mean, it might as well have been like Greg Kinnear's character in Mystery Man. He might as well have had like fucking corporate logos stamped on him just to get it out of the fucking way.
No, like
Fucking
the movie. No one in this movie. Perry White, Lois Lane, Clark Kent. No one in this movie. Jonathan Kent, Diane Lane, has any other dimension to them other than to just provide boring ass exposition dialogue that they repeat all throughout the goddamn movie. No one in this thing has an actual conversation with each other. No one treats it as if
it's
this
they're just like, they have talking points. They don't even look at each other when they talk.
It's just fucking talking points, bullet points throughout this whole fucking movie. There's not anyone that you can identify with in this film. None. It's just the whole movie.
There's one character in the movie that's almost rounded. It's a fucking hologram. Jor-El was kind of badass.
Who, Russell Crowe?
Yes.
I mean, he was anyone that I liked in this movie.
But they
and
took
there was
the
a
whole
few.
point of Jor-El and made that every character in the movie, so it just kind of wasted that too.
That just screamed to me like, okay, well, Russell Crowe has it in his contract that he can't only be in the first 5 minutes of the movie. But even with that, if there was a person in this movie I liked, it was only because I liked the actor playing him. Zod is not well written in this film.
No.
When he was on screen, there were moments where it was fine, but that's because I like Michael Shannon.
Yeah.
Nah, he
Anybody
was
could-
chewing on some fucking scenery.
Yeah, he's chewing on scenery. Really, anyone could have played that fucking part. Anyone could have played the Russell Crowe part in this movie. He's fine in it because he's Russell Crowe. Michael Shannon is fine because he's Michael Shannon, not because the character has any teeth to him whatsoever. And really, when you have a movie that's this bland, you better make for goddamn sure it's not a Superman movie. Because, Jesus Christ, Henry Cavill's a fine actor, but the portrayal of Superman in that Superman musical had more depth to it than this.
Yeah, it was one of those things, just watching this movie for me was really frustrating because, I went in having serious doubts.
I went into it with really high expectations. I was sold on the trailers for this thing. I really was.
Wasn't. I had serious doubts about it from everything I'd been reading for the past year. Like, just thinking, I was like, well, the casting's pretty solid, and I like the people that are making the movie. And every trailer and everything I read made me go, oh, this is gonna suck. And then the first wave of fucking reviews came out this week, and I was like, well, some people I really like have decent opinions of this movie. And they're fucking wrong. This movie was a piece of shit.
What were your expectations going into this?
I mean, the trailers looked interesting. Like they were well made trailers. I mean, they definitely sold me on it, and especially what was it, like a couple weeks back when we got the General Zod trailer.
Yeah.
That was a good trailer.
Like I was really like my interest was piqued, but
Yeah.
then I mean, this movie it's a lot of talk about stuff, but then very little happens until everything happens at the end.
Well, we got to get to
the end.
We got to get
call
to
that the end. It's not the end. That's half the fucking movie.
we got to get to the most
Well-
important thing, that really we just don't like it because we saw it at midnight.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm pretty sleepy.
See, that's why we didn't like it.
I went into this movie wide the fuck awake, and halfway through, I was like, man, I could use a nap right now.
I'm not sucking Nolan's dick on this one either.
Nope.
Nor Zack Snyder's, but I've never wanted to do that.
You know who really let me down on this one? Fucking David Goyer. Like, that dude, like, he either does something that I just go, fuck yeah, David Goyer. I'm just like, David fucking Goyer, come on, man.
Well, we gotta talk about how this particular movie makes Superman look like the worst superhero of all time.
Oh my god, he's
Thank God
terrible.
you saved us. A few of us. I mean, millions of us are dead right now, but
The property damage caused by him and his shenanigans.
yes! I mean, Zod's causing enough damage too, but Superman is just flinging trains into like buildings and like throwing Zod through buildings that people are still like in. Like me and like I was on a podcast the other day where we were joking about like we were like, you know, Bad Boys 2 is really funny because of its complete and utter disregard for human life, but at least that movie was aware of it, so it made it kind of funny. This was really distracting.
It's like there's I don't know how many scenes where it pans over and there's like just giant fucking like 100-story buildings just like falling into the streets.
Some of it Superman is causing.
Yeah. Like he's causing a lot of those.
There's gonna be a little bit of like collateral damage in a fight like that, yes, but at the same time, like
A little?
That was an entire city.
I know.
Like,
and well, as I'm saying, yeah, okay, maybe one building falls down like in the comics and shit like that.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen.
yeah.
But at the same time, it's Superman. The whole ass like I'm watching this going, all right, I've been reading comics my whole life. Guy throws Superman through the building.
Yeah.
Superman's gonna fly around, weld the fucking beams back together, and then go back to the fight. He's not gonna let hundreds of people fucking die.
There was honestly no rhyme or
Not hundreds, thousands of people died in this movie.
It was a whole fucking city was destroyed. Like, actually, it got kind of weird with the editing because in several shots, it was the entire city destroyed. And then in other shots, it looked fine. Did you notice that?
Yeah, well, yeah, because after they kind of stopped the big doomsday machine.
Yeah.
The big doomsday. Oh, yes.
Yeah, they're kind of standing there and they're just like, city blocks are just nothing, and then you see like ruined buildings and
it looked like the opening to like fucking 2019 after the fall of New York.
But then yeah, like they took the fight like 2 blocks over and like, oh, it's just, you know, a bustling city. Or honestly, they may have been halfway around the fucking world. I don't even know.
That's a good point too. And like, I'm not sure if that was the right moment for Lois Lane and Clark to make a kissy face joke while the city is in ruins behind. Like, I was watching it like with like everyone like covered in dust and shit like that. I'm watching like, was the point of this scene to be like, hey, well, you know, 9/11 could have been worse. Superman could have been there.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that bad, New York. Get over it. That's what Brad's saying.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said, you son of a bitch. Stop saying shit before the inevitable commenter probably would have said that. Well, what are you gonna say? All right, you gonna preempt the comment that that'll probably say like, oh hey, what? Dave's got a problem with changing shit in this, but he didn't have a problem with what they did to the Mandarin. Hypocrisy.
Yes. Let's discuss that for a moment. The change to the Mandarin made the story interesting. The changes to Paquette in this were bullshit. The changes to everything in this were bullshit. Oh, and I'm gonna say this. I gotta get it out of my system. At the end of Batman Returns, I said bullshit because Batman doesn't quit.
Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises, yeah. Bullshit. Batman doesn't quit. Superman doesn't fucking kill people. He fucking doesn't do it. He's Superman. He doesn't fucking kill people.
Fucking does now.
Jesus Christ. He just snaps his fucking neck.
And when that happened, I sat there and my first thought wasn't wait, what? Superman doesn't kill people. My first thought was, he could have done that the whole fucking time. Like, really? When he defeats the Doomsday Machine, spoiler, snaps Zod's neck, and a couple other things he does to say, it's really easy ways he does it. Like, he kind of stops the Doomsday Machine by basically just sort of flying into it. And like Zod, he just snaps his neck. Like, really? Like, you certainly fucking bide your time while all these millions of fucking people are dying in this city when you could have just snapped fucker's neck. This movie sucked.
And you know, it's not the... Of course he could have snapped his fucking neck. He's Superman. Mm-hmm. He doesn't fucking do that. Mm-hmm. He finds another way. He's intelligent. In this movie, Superman is a fucking idiot.
Well, the funniest part of that scene was the sort of like Goldfinger laser beam thing that Zod was doing with his eyes.
Slowly towards the family.
Towards the family that weren't trapped. Like they could have just.
They were just standing there. They couldn't fucking move.
It would seriously be like if Brian was standing. It would be like if Brian was standing in the middle of the parking lot, and I had a Tommy gun and started from over here and just went, and you're still in the middle, like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So if I could save me, eventually he's gonna shoot me.
No, it's
It's going right for me. Oh no.
no.
Wait.
It's like if you were standing against a wall and Brad was driving a car straight at you at about 1 mile an hour. And you just stood there until he fucking hit you.
I like how in all these scenarios, I'm trying to kill you.
Yeah. Why is it me?
Because people can sympathize with you. They don't like me.
You have to remember we went and saw Temptation.
You said
That's true.
you said you liked this better than Dark Knight Rises, because I didn't.
You know what? This movie was boring and it was bullshit. But at the same, I hated Dark Knight Rises.
I didn't
so
like
much.
it either, but Dark Knight Rises at least had characters. It at least had structure. Yeah, some of them weren't characters that I liked all that much, but they were at least there. I could at least get invested in something in that
It
movie.
had, like, 3 stories going on. So
Right, yeah. This movie didn't have one.
The thing about Dark Knight Rises, I think that still pisses me off the most is that it built on 2 really good movies, and the third one was just a piece of shit. So it's just wasting the build-up of 2 fantastic movies.
Yeah.
And then making a piece of shit, and I find that infinitely more depressing because it was the same exact people making the movie.
Sure.
And they basically, in all 3, were told, do what you want. And they make that third one, and it was so bad. So bad. And this, like, I can at least to a certain degree understand a little bit of confusion. It's like, how do you tell a really good Superman story? It's a fucking hard idea because...
But I've seen it done well. I've seen it do well. Honestly, of the main Superman movies, as bad as some of those sequels were, I thought they were better than this. I did. Because again, it's like I said, at least the other ones had... You mentioned earlier about, like, Superman sometimes kind of working when there's a zaniness factor. The later Superman sequels weren't great, but there was a zaniness to them.
that's why I fucking love Superman 4.
Well, it's got Nuclear Man in it. Yeah. Nuclear Man's fun. At least Nuclear Man's fun. Like
all the similar powers, has like the fingernail thing going on. Like it's awesome.
And then like and then there's Superman 3, which, you know, also isn't as good as the first 2, but you got fucking evil Superman like fucking fixing and unfixing the fucking leaning tower of Pisa and shit.
Oh god damn it, now I gotta buy new statues.
Yeah, like there's at least a zaniness that's kind of funny a little bit. I mean, so at least there was that. Those movies had that. Whether or not you like that or not, at least it was something.
Well, and the thing that really threw me with this one was because I'll agree with what Dave said earlier. Like the casting.
The casting's fantastic,
solid.
really. It really was.
But
you can't give a great cast a shit script and expect it to turn it in goddamn gold, you know?
But even with that, simple lines. Like, it wasn't all the time, but there were just, like, simple lines that just had, like, nothing behind them. Like, honestly, about everything that Christopher Meloni says is just... Like, they paid him enough to show up, but they didn't pay him that extra $1 to give a shit.
Yeah, again, a character that you only notice just because it's Christopher Meloni playing him.
Yeah, it could have been fucking anybody.
Yeah.
It was him. But every line he delivers, and it's not even like he's trying to be like some like assertive military hard case or something.
No, yeah.
It's just like he doesn't care. Like that fucking line, "This man is not our enemy."
Yeah.
That's it. Fucking monotone, saying it to no one in particular, to a whole group of people.
Probably to Lois, who's there for some reason.
Well, and it was sort of the thing too, is like,
What a fucking
The
waste
entire-
for Lois.
United States Armed Forces, and yet Maloney is there for like every single operation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he's like a colonel or a captain or fucking a general. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, they're conducting a that dig down in like the fucking Arctic Circle or wherever.
Mm-hmm.
He's there. Oh, and then they doing like ground infantry stuff. He's there. They're in fucking helicopters. He's there. He's flying the goddamn plane to like stop the doomsday device. Why the are they really trying to strengthen that whole army of one slogan?
I mean, like, it makes sense when that happens if it's like a zany kind of cartoon, because in stuff
well,
like
it
that,
makes
there's
sense
always
when
like,
that happens when it's John McClane.
well, I'm just on vacation, Jack. It makes it when it's like a cartoon, because there's in like cartoons and stuff, there's always like the one general guy who's there for everything. But this movie is not fun like that. This movie's taking itself relatively seriously. So yeah, something like that's.
I think that was
distracting.
the big
Yeah.
mistake of the film, is they took it way too seriously. They tried to ground Superman into a sense of reality, and it's like, he's fucking Superman. Motherfucker wears tights and flies. Just fucking go with it.
There was one line that I liked. One line I liked, and it was a Michael Shannon line, when he said, "I can't believe I'm debating the merits of genocide with a ghost." That was okay. All right, there was one line that I liked. Like, that was kind of like, all right. But any other time that there was a line thrown in there to sort of humanize a character, it was the most trite, fucking cliched goddamn action movie line you could fucking pull off the top of your head. And really, it happens like, this movie's so bland, like even that only happens a few times. But it's like when like Lois and Clark are kissing and she says the thing about the first kiss and blah blah blah, that sounds
It's always
like
downhill from after the first.
yeah, it's
kiss.
like, wasn't that the line from Speed?
And his response, I think that's only true about humans.
And
Remember,
it was,
he's an alien.
Yes, remember, he's an alien.
and also the girl at the end saying like, "Oh, he's kind of hot." Whatever.
Just, God fucking damn it.
So far, this is one of the worst movies I've seen all year.
Well,
I sat there.
this is one of the most infuriating movies I've seen all year. I don't know about the fucking worst.
It's one of the worst.
It's in the top 10, I'll tell you that right now.
You have to remember we went and saw Temptation.
Ah!
Well, I'm not arguing that
No,
was
you
probably
did.
worse.
God.
Yeah, it was mostly for me like I'm not getting like the full blown hate that you guys have, but I mean it was fucking disappointing.
It was a mesmerizing disaster, because I seriously sat there pretty wide-eyed in disbelief about what the fuck I was seeing.
I got fucking. It was one of those. Physically, the movie made me nauseous just because of the way it was fucking directed.
Oh, don't go see this in 3D.
No,
I honestly like. I've never had a problem with this before, but I honestly did have like at the start of the video. If you see me just kind of like staring at the console.
yeah,
down
just
here.
trying to refocus your fucking eyes.
Oh.
Yeah, like my vision felt all fluttery, just because like it's
It's too quick for 3D. It's just too fast.
well, and it's
yeah, and shaky.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why the whole thing had to be fucking like shaky handycam style like that. Like even scenes that don't make sense. Like it's a tight zoom in on like Henry Cavill's face, but it's fucking moving around so much. Like the guy holding the camera has fucking palsy or
like
something.
the big, wonderful, epic space shots that they put together, the CG. I'll give them credit. The CG in this is actually really solid. But, like, they do this nice, wonderful panning zoom, and then they'll just go like that. And it's like, why did you fucking do that?
well,
Yeah.
that's the
You
thing.
just ruined a great shot.
Like I don't know why who started doing it first, but I know that was a big thing they did in like BSG.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it worked in that for me anyway.
Well, because they were big distance in space shots. It wasn't
Yeah.
doing it with like people having dialogue.
Yeah.
Although I thought it was kind of fun that I noticed at least two BSG cast members in it. The guy that plays Hilo and Mr. Gata.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was essentially the exact same character. They just had him sitting there at a screen telling people what was happening. So, like, familiar territory for him, I guess.
Yeah. And it looks like a Zack Snyder movie. It feels like a Zack Snyder movie, in that like he tells he shows you pretty ways to tell a nothing fucking story, like fucking Sucker Punch. It's a beautiful way to fucking talk about nothing.
Yeah.
But in this though, given that it's
I honestly would have liked it though if it was more over the top. I honestly like
So would I.
it's one of those things I honestly feel like it could have been a little more Zack Snyder-y.
Well, I mean, my problem with how it looks here is that, okay, in some of his other movies, that sort of visual style looks fine, or at least it's it can be kind of appropriate, depending. In this, given that it's Superman, it just makes it look like kind of an ugly version of Superman, even though but for all intents and purposes, the guy can make a pretty shot, and some of the visuals are pretty, but when it's Superman, and you're kind of used to maybe it being a little brighter.
No, the colors were so muted in this.
Yeah.
And I think, and I know that's Warner Brothers going, all right, well, Batman did really good, and we said it kind of in a real world kind of thing, so they tried to mute shit down and stuff like that. But you know what? I really think the Marvel movies got it right, where they just embraced the absurdity of what was going on and made it fun. And in this, there's just none of that.
Well, I think a good way to kind of look at that is like just like with the colors, they made Superman's outfit so dark that in some scenes it honestly just looks gray.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing, like it doesn't even look like it has color to it. Whereas like with Marvel, they went the exact opposite way.
Like, make that thing fucking neon, do it.
Going from like the Captain America movie to actually in the Avengers when he's like wearing the updated togs. Yeah, those things are like fucking fluorescent blue. It's like motherfucker, red, white, and blue coming at you.
Well, and because it was in 3D, the projection was so fucking low that it just made it look darker anyway.
And that might have been part of it, but it's just like, it was really, like, it was kind of distracting. And just like the digital grit that they put in it to make it look like film.
I noticed that too.
It was so obviously digitally done that it was annoying. And it's like, you know what? Let it be clean and sharp and crazy. If you're going to make a movie like this and you're going to do it on digital, fucking take advantage.
Or just shoot on film.
Yeah. Well, half this movie was done in a fucking computer, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, honestly, like a thing that I kept thinking of watching like Zod and his troops running around and their ridiculous outfits. It just reminded me of the first G.I. Joe.
Oh, God.
Yeah? I can see
like
that.
That's just what it reminded me of. But
just, yeah,
like he had all those people, like they kept kind of like, again, like this movie was very bad at showing people like it should mean a fucking thing, and then they just disappear or they're just in the background. Like what was with like his one guy that was like 9.5 feet tall?
I was having trouble.
What was with that?
The dude was huge for no reason.
When they were in their costumes, though, I didn't know who was fucking who. I didn't know if it was Zod or if I didn't know if it was that guy.
But yeah, I mean, one of the guys was, I don't know, definitely one of the fucking guys from Prometheus. Jesus.
Yeah,
Wandered on the wrong fucking set.
It's just a whole lot of wasted fucking potential. And I mean, honestly, you cut an hour out of that movie, you get a little better dialogue, and
Really? There was no good dialogue in that movie.
well, a little better would have been better than nothing.
How would
it's
taking
just- it
dialogue
seems-
out make...
It just seems really shitty with like the quality of visual effects they had and the great cast, and they just made a fucking pile of garbage with it.
I know, like, I mean, yeah, you could trim a lot out of the action sequences in this, but that, for me, I mean, it'd make it shorter, but it wouldn't take away from any of the other problems I have with this thing.
Give me the first 10 minutes of the movie. That's the first 10 minutes.
The first 10 minutes on Krypton were pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty solid actually, but
and then it just turned to shit.
Well, but even with that, I mean, it basically drops you into like another movie already in progress.
yeah, where he's Wolverine.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I wasn't the only one who was thinking that.
No. I also love how he's like, apparently they state that he's in his 30s, which is great. Yeah, you don't have to make him a 22-year-old. It's awesome that he's in his 30s. But he's completely just ignorant about what he's capable of. And it's like, dude, you're 33 years old.
That's what I
Like-
thought.
Like, you've never tried this? Like,
Yeah,
like you can
yeah.
tell, like, he tries flying for the first time in this at 33 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I realized, like, shit like that earlier on,
And he mastered it pretty damn quick.
yeah. Yeah,
But-
apparently the learning curve for controlling
But-
yourself flying is relatively, like, nothing.
As a 30-year-old, I'm fairly knowledgeable about everything I think my body's capable of and what it's incapable of. I know for a fact I can't fucking fly or lift a fucking car. But, you know, if I could lift a fucking bus when I was 10, I would figure that I could do some other shit too. And, you know, if I could shoot laser beams out of my goddamn eyes,
I was
I
thinking,
would probably practice.
I was thinking that
That's just
too,
me.
when it said that he was when he
Why
said that he
yours
was
blue?
33 years old. Yours aren't?
Yeah, they are.
Mine were just black.
Oh yeah, we got the. It's always for the worst 3D movies that they actually do a redesign with the glasses.
I got two pair of them, actually.
Oh.
Oh, the pair I wasn't wearing is blue.
Yeah, when he said that he was 33 years old in the movie, I thought that too. I was like, really? I actually thought he was like 23 or something. I don't know how old Henry Cavill is in real life, but I took him for being like the character at least being in his fucking 20s in this movie.
No, you know, yeah. They're like, how are you that old and that ignorant about what shit? Like, you shoot laser beams. Practice that shit. You
No,
know?
he's not supposed to. He's supposed to let Kevin Costner get taken away by a tornado.
Although,
Well,
I will
Kevin
say,
Costner's, whoa, wait.
Nah,
Don't,
my son.
Son, I know what you're thinking of doing, but don't. For
Just let-
some stupid reason.
Let me die.
Yeah. Fucking horse shit.
oh my god, they could have even, like, used some bullshit thing like a wind gust. There was a tornado.
And just, the fact that they always feel the need to fucking Uncle Ben Pa Kent pisses me off. Like, and not only that, they just got his message all fucking wrong.
Well, yeah, that was the thing I kind of noticed too. Like they were definitely treating him essentially like he was Uncle Ben. Like he wasn't.
But with
he
the
wasn't- he
opposite
wasn't
fucking
Jonathan
message.
Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very terrible at it. Like it was like you know, Clark. You got to know that with great power comes. I don't
Yeah.
know, a bunch of shit with it. So get used to it.
Yeah.
Like there was no clear message, you know. It's
The Kents are the moral compass of Superman. That's where he becomes the wholesome motherfucker.
like telling him like that. There's that scene where a bunch of kids are trying to bully him, and he's like, "It's like I wanted to hit him, Dad," and he's like, "Yeah, I kind of wanted you to hit him too, but I mean, you got to figure it out. I don't know. You're gonna be the kind of guy that punches people." It was like,
what was I
Well,
supposed to do?
obviously, yes.
Like you kind of want me to be, so
See, that's why he destroys half a fucking city at the end. He had all that pent up fucking rage. Fucking
in a fucking
Paul
point, I was
Kent.
wondering if they were just aiming for buildings. Like, so hit
Yeah.
me that way. We haven't gotten over there in the garden.
Yeah, that
district
building's
yet.
still standing. Let's knock that one over. I think there might be a couple hundred people
I
in there
think
we
there's
can
a
knock
hospital
off.
over there. Let's just knock the power out. And just-
Yeah, or when he says to his dad, where he says to Pa Kent, when he says like, what, should I just let them all drown? And his dad's, maybe. Fucking
What?
really?
Yeah, maybe you should.
Really?
It's like you're bad at this. Like,
This
you're really
this
bad at
12-year-old's
this.
a 12-year-old might notice that you saved people from a bus, and they'll totally believe him.
terrible fucking father. And then it's just like Martha Kent. Like, and I know they didn't bring this up at all, but just the way they had her acting, I was like, Did like off screen was Paul Kent just beating the shit out of her? Is that why she's such a fucking pussy?
Well, I mean, this is the same world too, where like we put a lot of trust into somebody who runs an alien conspiracy blog, just as much as we do an actual journalist.
Oh my god!
The guy on the internet saying this thing about aliens, like in ice and shit. Let's have him on the nightly news.
It wasn't even that. He was on like CNN, man. He was like,
Yeah.
Little fucking blitzer, some shit.
it's like,
Oh my
shit,
god!
we got to cut through here. We got a guy we got to talk to.
I got nothing else, man. I really kind of hated this fucking movie. Sitting through it was sort of mesmerizing because I couldn't believe how bad it actually fucking was. But
Like
it's the worst Superman movie I've sat through.
It wasn't even like the fun kind of bad where afterwards you were pissed off, but you could see the humor in it later, like Green Lantern.
After Earth.
Yeah, like there was there's no like redeeming bad here. It was just fucking horrible.
Other than it's
And I know we're gonna get shit for hating this movie. I
didn't
know
even
we
find
are.
there to be anything redeemingly bad about Green Lantern.
Oh yeah, because it's funny as hell when you think about it now.
the shit monster was
Poop
kind of funny.
monster, the fucking pasted on like flat 3D head.
Well, that thing was funny at the time.
Yeah.
Like I just didn't like that one at all.
No, that movie's terrible. This movie's.
It still just pissed me off that one was, you know.
I think this
it's like
movie's
you've had Jeff
infinitely
Johns
worse
who
because it had as
loves
much
doing
potential.
the origins.
This movie, yeah, is at least like kind of uniquely bad because it's kind of rare that I sit through something that's mainstream theatrically, at least, that's this much of a goddamn overly ambitious, rather beautiful train wreck. Holy fucking shit. I mean, it has these stereotypes of a typical Hollywood summertime disaster. Style over substance, absolutely no characters, overabundance of fucking CGI, complete a complete lack of understanding for basic human life when it comes to Superman saving shit.
Complete lack of understanding of the character.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reason why it's always been a problem for people to do good Superman stories is he's not that interesting of a character. Because he's pretty simple. So how the fuck do you get it wrong?
By not having him have any sort of character arc whatsoever, which he doesn't in this movie at all. He's the same person at the beginning of the movie that he is at the end of the fucking film. That's it.
No, at the end he doesn't have a beard.
Oh, he lost that beard early on in the movie. When he stopped being Hugh Jackman.
I want to know where he found a fucking razor in the spaceship.
I could buy it. It's got a Gillette in it.
And just kind of.
So he found a mirror in the
Yeah.
spaceship.
I'm sure there was probably a mirror in the spaceship. But I like if you're a really, really extremely diehard Zack Snyder fanboy and you thought Sucker Punch was awesome, then you might like this fucking film. But
I think Sucker Punch is awesome with the volume turned down and Led Zeppelin playing. But as a movie, it's fucking terrible.
yeah, no, I don't recommend this fucking piece of shit. When the movie ended, I looked at Dave and just went, "You're the comic guy. What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, and then you guys ran out of the theater.
Yes.
I think my exact words were, "That fucking sucked," and I stood up and I left.
Yeah. What are you guys' final thoughts about the movie? Because I'm done.
Just didn't even finish.
Nope.
It's because he left it open for a sequel.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, I can't finish because, I mean, come on. That was really dissatisfying. It's like getting a really shitty blowjob, guys.
Yeah.
Way too much spit,
Teeth.
a little bit of teeth, just gripping too hard.
You're sucking my nose. I didn't say stop.
And just really,
Because you're biting, and I'd rather you bite my nose than my dick.
And all that combined with a very noticeable lack of...
Well, you never played Nose or Penis?
You know, I gotta say I haven't.
Do you want to? You alright, buddy? You broke yourself with Nose or Penis, didn't you?
Ah, Nose or Penis, a classic.
Were you even gonna talk about fucking
No,
trailers?
it's fucking 4 in the fucking morning. No.
Alright.
You probably gotta be up in 2 hours.
Yeah.
But so, alright, next week is, World War Z? Is that next week?
Yeah.
Yay.
It's World War Z and what else?
Monsters University,
That's
I think.
right, yeah.
That's...
World War Z.
I would scoff and be like, oh, well, that's Jake and Irving territory, but they're probably gonna have the better fucking movie next week.
Fucking...
Oh yeah, well if it lives up to even like a fraction of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but you know what? World War Z is gonna be bad. But it wasn't fucking Man of Steel, at least. It can't possibly be this bad. It can't.
Well, I don't know. It looks like it's 90% CG as well. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But at least in the very worst roles he's ever done, Brad Pitt's still a good actor.
And at least the zombies are supposed to be destroying shit. This would be fucking like, it's like, this movie's like World War Z if it was just Superman chasing everybody and slamming them into fucking buildings, jumping onto a fucking helicopter with a cat.
I just love that
Good cat.
during the whole movie, the only person he ever goes out of his way to save is Lois, and he does that like 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
No, he saved that one helicopter dude, right? I mean,
oh, that's true.
yeah.
Mm.
Who I think almost immediately got smashed by a fucking car.
Yeah, see, I can understand him kind of letting shit slide in Metropolis, whatever, because he's not from there. But his hometown, where he grew up,
Uh-huh.
he's having a fight on like fucking Main Street, and I don't know if like if this bugged you either, but he's like walking down the street towards some of Zod's people, and everybody's like running around, and he keeps telling all these people like go inside, you don't want to be out here, go inside, and then like throws a car into each of the buildings.
Yeah, of course he fucking does.
And some of them like he flew through on purpose, like it wasn't even collateral damage, like he meant to like grab one of them and then run them through the hardware store.
He's as good
After
at
just shooing like a dozen people in there.
he's as good at throwing cars as I was when I played the fucking video game.
That's what pisses me off about this movie. He didn't have to fly through a single ring.
Not a single ring.
Bullshit. This movie sucks. No soup, no rings.
And I thought bullets could stop him if we're going by the video games, you know?
That's the NES version.
Yeah.
This movie should
No,
have about
he-
him like solving fucking stocks and shit on Wall Street. Oh man! All right, I'm tapped out. You guys done?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
See you next week.